Hello traders and welcome back once again to It's Crypto's trading channel. In this video we're going to update the current situation that we are seeing on LUNAUSDT to show you how we are going to potentially capitalize on the next trading opportunity. First of all, as I'm sure some of you are aware if you follow our trading channel, we have been holding Luna since around $6. We are up almost 1,000%. We were up more than 1,000% at one point. So I'm going to show you guys exactly why and how we entered this position all the way back in around May, I believe, to show you guys from an educational perspective how and why we entered this trade from a technical perspective. Obviously, Luna Terra has very good fundamentals. It's a very, very good project. But we're going to keep this solely technical analysis based, no fundamental analysis. So to show you guys how we use the technical analysis price action to determine our entry before this huge impulsive move to the upside. And we are still currently riding our spot position. We have not yet took any profits at all off this position because I am still very bullish on LUNAUSDT, as I will begin to show you now. So first of all, let's recap how we entered our original position. Let's take our replay tool and go all the way back to June 21. So here in June 2021, what we can see on the monthly time frame from LUNAUSDT is we have this beautiful impulse which was followed by a correction. Now, why did the market make a correction? This tends to happen after such a strong impulsive move. What tends to happen is retail traders will enter long positions here thinking the market is just going to keep going higher. However, the market will first make a correction to gather the liquidity of the traders that are entering here. So the market made a correction into this area of liquidity. If we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse, we can see the market retraced to the 0.786 fib and shown an instant rejection to the upside. So here on the monthly time frame, we had a new higher high and a potential new higher low, and we did expect to see the continuation to the upside. Our upside target originally was the minus 0.272 fib, so around $28 there. So we're just going to identify that for the time being. So here on the monthly time frame, as I've said, we are clearly bullish at this point. We then drop down to the weekly time frame to see how things were looking on the weekly, how price action was looking on the weekly. So one very important thing which popped out to me straight away, we had this beautiful M formation on the weekly time frame. And if you do follow our videos, you'll know after this harmonic pattern, after this M formation, the market does tend to complete the pattern at the neckline. Therefore, we had a bullish weekly and a bullish monthly time frame. Also here on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that the market is testing this level of weekly demand. From this zone, we saw this large impulsive move to the upside. Then the market come and tested and made another move to the upside. Once again, the market is testing this zone, and I do expect the same reaction. I did expect the same reaction from this zone, the market, to eventually complete this pattern and make a new higher high from a weekly and monthly perspective. So we had the monthly and weekly which both aligned. They both showed bullish patterns and they both showed bullish price action. Let's now drop down to the daily time frame and show you how we potentially looked at how we entered this position. Obviously this is going back in time, so let's start playing this here. So at this point, sorry, let's go back a little bit. We went a little bit too far here. So at this point in time, what the market has is it has broken below this level of support. We had a clear level of support here on the daily, here. So all across this zone, this is a clear level of daily support. The market broke this zone to the downside, hunting the liquidity that was below this zone. If you imagine you are a high leverage trader, you had your entry here, your stop loss would be below the lows. The market broke below the lows, hunted the liquidity, and then what we was waiting to see is a break back above this zone. And that's exactly what the market done. The market made a new daily impulse, which broke above this level of support. We waited for the market to come and retest this area. And this is where we entered our first position. The market retested this area with this candle here. So we clearly have a level of resistance here. So this is clearly resistance, which has turned support. We entered at this point, and then the market did make the nice move to the upside, exactly as we anticipated. So as you can see, the market began to make the move to the upside. Another retest of our support. And then, as you can see, the market completed the M formation perfectly, exactly as we would expect. Now, at this point, we did not take any profits because we still had the monthly impulse correction continuation pattern target, which I've identified already, this zone here. And we did have this descending counter trend line. Now, if the market breaks above this descending counter trend line, obviously bullish momentum is going to continue. So we held our position. And as you can see, the market did break above the counter trend line and began impulsing very aggressively to the upside. And as you can see, it smashed through our next target because of the bullish fundamentals that we had on LUNAUSDT and the very clear bullish price action that we are currently seeing at this point. We did not take any profits here. So, as you can see, what happened is the market exploded to the upside. We made around 1,100%, I believe. So let's just take our price range from our entry, which is $6. As you can see, the market was in around 1,160% return on our investment. But as you all know, we are still holding this position. So now things are going to get interesting from a trading perspective. How can we look at the next possible intraday or swing trading setup? Here on the weekly time frame, what we can see is the market made a series of impulses and correction. We have this impulse here from this low to this high. Let's just zoom in so it's very clear for you to understand. So from this low to this high is a nice impulse which broke above this level of resistance. Then the market provided to us with a correction to the 0.5 Fibonacci. From this zone, the market made a new impulse to the upside, breaking above this high. Then what we saw was a correction once again. If we take our Fibonacci from this impulse, so from this low to this high here, which is where the impulse stopped, this high here. The market then corrected once again exactly to the 0.5 Fibonacci, the 50%, and then began a new impulse to the upside. What happened after the impulse to the upside? The market made a correction to retest previous resistance as new support before making once again another impulsive move to the upside. If we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the most recent impulse, so we'll just clear this so it's nice and clear for you guys. So as you can see, we have an impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction. And that is what we are currently seeing in the market. This is a very strong bullish trend. Every time the market makes a correction, every time the market dips, buyers enter the market aggressively and push prices higher. What we are currently seeing is exactly the same thing. We have previous level of resistance all across this zone. Excuse me. So we have previous resistance across this zone, which should now act as support. We also have this very nice impulse to the upside, which is broken above this zone. After an impulse, as you all know by now, what we expect to see is a correction to retest previous resistance as new support. And that's exactly what the market has done. If we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the most recent impulse, we can see the market is currently testing the 0.618, the golden ratio, which is aligning very nicely with this area of support, previous resistance turned support, giving us a confluence of support at this zone. And you can see the market is already rejecting this zone quite aggressively, which shows us buyers are strong at this area. This is a strong area of demand. So here on the weekly time frame, we have another impulse correction, and we do expect to see the continuation to the upside. Our next upside target, if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high of the weekly correction, the minus 0.272, as always, will be our upside target, which gives us a very nice price of around $85. So let's now drop down to the daily time frame and see what we can see from a daily perspective. So here on the daily time frame, the market is still currently making this corrective move. We are testing this level of weekly demand and we are showing a rejection to the upside. However, one very important thing to take into consideration here on the daily time frame is the market has printed this green candle here in this impulsive move to the downside. So when we have one candle which is not related to the move, so in this case, this is a bearish move from this high to this low. This is a bearish move. This is a bullish candle which is not related to this bearish move. Therefore, this green candle, this bullish candle, will act as a level of resistance until we break above it. So we clearly have a level of previous support here. You can see rejection, rejection. We have previous daily support here. We broke to the downside. Now we have a level of resistance all across this zone. So at the moment, as we are currently speaking, it's too early to be looking for a potential leverage position because the market is below this level of resistance, and we could see a rejection at this zone, and the market we could see a rejection at this zone, and the market come down into this area once again. So, however, what we could be doing, what we will be waiting to do, we will be waiting for the daily candle to break above this zone. As I said, we could come back down to this level first, and then if we see a daily close above this level of resistance will once again be turnt support, and all inside of this area, this is where we'll be dropping down to the 4-hour time frame and look for a potential entry to long with leverage. Let's just now quickly go down to the 4-hour time frame. So here on the 4-hour time frame, once again, everything is bearish from a short-term perspective. We have this bearish corrective trend line. The market has rejected this zone here, here, here. And once again, we are currently rejecting this zone as we speak with this red candle here. And we have this clear level of resistance, giving us a confluence of resistance at this zone. We have the descending trend line and this horizontal level of resistance. So as I said, what we are waiting to see is a higher high close above this area of resistance. On the retest, this is where we'll be looking at capitalizing on the next continuation move to the upside. We will be looking at entering this position with leverage that could give us a very nice potential 200 to 300% return on our trade here. And obviously, if the market does go and complete this new impulse correction continuation pattern to the upside, this will give us a huge spot profit here of around, let's check, so from $6 all the way up to 86 would give us a massive 1,350% ROI on our spot position. So all in all, very bullish price action here on Luna. This chart looks extremely bullish despite the current market conditions, and we will be waiting for the entry rules that I've just identified before we will be looking at any new leverage positions here on Luna USDT.